It didn't just haunt them, it targeted them. One by one, learning their fears, their weaknesses, and their secrets. And then using them, not randomly, but deliberately, like it had a purpose, and someone it wanted to break. This is the other side of normal. They say the past never truly dies, that sometimes it scratches at the walls, whispers from the corners and waits, just waits for someone to listen. This is the story of a family, a house, and a presence that refused to go away. Welcome back, everyone, you curious fools. Grab a drink, settle in, and let's see what the walls whisper to us tonight. Okay. Let's get straight into it today. No fucking about. Scary shit. Early 19th century, Robertson County, Tennessee. Sparse forests and muddy roads and a small family homestead that might have looked innocent enough if it weren't for the things that started knocking. My own sound effects. The Bell family lived quietly until quiet became unbearable. Knocks in the walls, objects moving, voices in the dark, and Betsy Bell, the teenage daughter, often found herself the epicenter of all the disturbances. Picture yourself there, candles flickering, the wind rattle in the windows, then the walls answer a question you asked. What the hell would you do? Scary. The region had little in the way of formal documentation, police reports or official investigations. Most of what we know comes from later accounts, stories told and retold across decades. The most reference is Mark Ingram's 1894, an authenticated history of the famous Bell Witch. So, it began with knocking, light, persistent, and sometimes responsive. People say you could ask questions aloud and the walls would answer. Betsy heard them first. A knock for yes, two for no, or so the story goes. Later, visitors confirmed it, standing in stunned silence as their questions were met with walls that seemed alive. If only my relatives had this talent. They might actually respond when I talk to them. What followed was physical disturbances. Betsy felt her hair being pulled, unseen fingers brushing her arms, doors slamming, objects shifted without touch. Not limited to the family, visitors experienced it as well. One, known as Powell, in later retellings, reportedly had full conversations with the entity, which was later called Kate. Kate's voice was said to know intimate details about people's lives, sometimes helpful, sometimes just completely cruel. She'd correct statements, she'd tease, and she would threaten. Like a cat that whispers secrets while slowly suffocating you with her claws. Conversations were reportedly lucid, responsive and unnerving. Yet all records come decades later. No transcript, no police notes, only repeated chilling oral testimony. I just keep thinking of like a voice calling your name from the corner of the room, and it knows something you've never told anyone. I don't know what I would do. So we're stepping into the escalation now. So the phenomena just got worse. Betsy became a target, an actual target. Pulls, slaps, sudden cold drafts of air. Visitors reported similar experiences as well. The activity was clever, almost sentient. Knocks followed logical patterns. Objects moved just to provoke. John Bell, the patriarch, eventually became obsessed with it. Reports suggest his health declined after the stress. Some narratives hint at administered substances, but details remain unverified. So between the ghost and the medicine, you can hardly tell who's haunting who. But hey, it's not like he had a choice, is it? Go, John. Okay, so in 1820, John Bell dies. Disturbances reportedly diminished after that. Some say the entity had grown bored. Others whisper it had succeeded in some unspoken goal. You sit in the same house, alone now. Would you feel relief? I just think that if that was to happen to you for an X amount of time and then stopped, you'd still be scarred, wouldn't you? I mean, you hear about it all the time. You know, hundreds of thousands of people have experienced these phenomena. They all, not all of them, can't say that, but the majority of them were terrified and wish they'd never experienced it. So that tells me that even if the hauntings or whatever stopped, you still wouldn't feel comfortable, would you? I know I wouldn't. I would still be as scared as I was when I was being haunted. Despite years of terrifying activity, no one could definitively prove or disprove what happened. That doesn't make the story any less chilling, though. So, Kate, the entity was cunning. She mocked, she threatened, she demonstrated knowledge. Some accounts even suggest a sense of humour. A dark, cruel humour. Like a shadow that grins back at you. Teeth sharper than your doubts. The disturbances reportedly ended after a few years. Whether Kate left, got another job, or simply retreated, no one knows. Only that the house and the family were, like I said, forever changed. And you would be. Why does this story stick around? I've known about this story for a few years, but I've been sort of telling people that this is what my next episode is about, and no one have really heard of it, which surprises me. But it's because it's a bit sticky, innit? Because it scratches at the part of us that craves answers in the dark. Because despite the centuries, the walls of that Tennessee home still echo in imagination. And maybe if you've been listening closely, you hear the knock too. What would you do? The Bell Witch isn't just a story. It's a warning, a puzzle, a ghostly companion for the sleepless. We rarely get to touch the unknown. Most of us live with our ghosts carefully boxed inside memory or metaphor. But sometimes they step outside, sometimes they answer questions, touch the untouchable, and remind us that silence is not really empty. Betsy Bell and her family faced something beyond explanation. And we, centuries later, are still listening, still asking, what would you do if the walls spoke to you? Remember, accounts are filtered through decades, through human memory, through retelling, but that doesn't make the terror any less real. Not for those who experienced it, anyway. So tonight, as you sit in your own quiet home, listen closely. Maybe it's something knocking. Or maybe, just maybe, something is knocking, waiting to be acknowledged. And when it does, what will you do? What's happening? Think I left? I haven't gone anywhere. Okay, so this was predominantly about the Bell Witch. But after looking into it, I just thought I'd get the best bits in and then throw another scary story on the end. So I have been looking into the Enfield haunting, which is probably one of the most famous. Don't quote me on that, but there is a lot of talk about this. The Enfield poltergeist. So, again, let's just get into it. Welcome back. If the door starts knocking, don't answer it. It's rude. Because in 1977, in a quiet little London council house, a family did exactly that. But it didn't stop knocking. 2 years this lasted. So, the first knock. Late August, Enfield. A normal street, a normal house. Single mother Peggy Hodgson. 4 kids. Nothing special. Nothing haunting. Until the night the furniture started moving. It begins small, because it always does. 2 daughters, Janet and Margaret, complain about knocking. But the knocking is coming from inside the walls. Inside. Peggy does what any rational parent does. Tells them to stop fucking about and go to bed. Because if your kids tell you the walls are knocking back, myself as a father, I wouldn't be thinking, oh my God, my house is haunted. I would jump straight into, are they taking the piss? Go to bed. Oh, I'll give you something to cry about. Good old days. When you used to have a whack with a slipper. Can't even look at your kids in a funny way anymore. Fucking country. Okay. I'm not political, so I'm not getting into that. So, the knocking started. But then, the mother heard it. Clear, sharp, knock, knock, knock. So let's stop a minute. You're in your house, it's late, and something knocks from inside your wall. Oh, I don't know about you, but that would shit me right up, like. Peggy checks the pipes, asks the neighbours. Just thought of anything logical that it could be. Nothing. Then a chair slides on its own. It don't fall, it don't tip, it just slides across the floor. And that's the moment where most people start reconsidering their life choices. Because a noisy pipe is one thing, but furniture that's had enough of your layout and just thinks I fancy something different, that's a whole different kettle of fish, that. The knocking doesn't stay in one place either. It follows them room to room, like something was listening as well. Police are called. Yeah, they actually called the police. Because when your house starts behaving like it's alive, you'd probably ring a priest first. What would you say on the 999 call? My chair just slid across the room. They'd think you're steaming. Ring a priest, not someone who carries a notebook and mild confusion. So anyway, the officer enters, calm and professional, until she sees a chair lift and move on its own. She later gives a statement confirming, not maybe, not could have been, she saw it and she was sticking to her guns. Good girl. It's the sort of police we want. So imagine you're a police officer, you walk into a house expecting nonsense, expecting probably a student house or something, and the furniture moves in front of you. Can't arrest a ghost. This is where it stops being strange and starts becoming really uncomfortable, because Janet Hodgson, 11, she becomes the focus. At night, her bed shakes. She's thrown from it, dragged from it, and hit in it. And then the voice begins. Not hers, deep, raspy, and male. Speaking through Janet. Witnesses described it clearly. A voice that shouldn't exist, coming from a child who physically shouldn't be able to do it. Produce it, like. It swears, mocks, but it also answers questions. Claims to be a dead man. Oh shit. Imagine sitting in a room and your child turns to you and something else answers instead. This is where the case becomes dangerous to dismiss. Enter the Society for Psychical Research and two key investigators, Maurice Gross, Guy Lyon Playfair. That's a fucking name. Good on you, Guy. Stick with it, son. They don't just visit, they stay. Nights, weeks, months. They record as much as they can. The knocking, the objects moving, the voice. They witness Janet levitate. Photographs are taken. A girl mid-air, body rigid, like something has hold of her. Now look, kids lie. Kids cheat. Kids will absolutely fake things. But last time I checked, levitating mid-air for a photo, that's a bit beyond attention seeking, to be honest. Now here's the problem. Here's where it gets messy, and this is why the story sticks. Because yes, the girls were caught faking some things. That don't fill you with confidence. It didn't fill me with confidence when I fucking read it and then wrote it down here for me to read it to you. Because I'm just thinking, well, that's not going to fill them with confidence, is it? But, you know, it's the truth, so I got to say it. So yeah, they were faking some things. They were bending spoons and making noises. And suddenly everyone goes, there it is, case closed. But here's the problem. The investigators didn't leave. Because even after catching them, things kept happening. Things the girls couldn't fake. Objects moving when no one was near them, knocks responding intelligently, the voice continuing under controlled observation. So now, you've got a problem. Because it's easy when it's all fake. It's easy when it's all real. But this sits right in the middle, like something smiling at you, daring you to pick a side. Now this voice had personality. It was cruel, it was playful, but it was also unpredictable. It mocked people, insulted them, targeted Janet the most, like a bully that didn't need a body. You're in that house, you hear it speaking again, not to the room, but to you. Some accounts say it revealed personal details, just like the Bell Witch. Others say it simply enjoyed the control. Either way, it stayed, and it stayed for 2 long years. And then, as quick as it arrived, it faded away. less activity, less voice, until eventually nothing. Silence. No grand ending, no explanation, just gone. And somehow that's worse. But what makes this case different isn't just what happened, it's who saw it. The police, journalists, investigators. Some believed, some didn't, but none of them left unchanged. Because when something moves in front of you, when something answers back, you won't forget that. We like our world clean, explained and safe. But sometimes something scratches at that illusion and reminds you maybe you're not in control. So tonight, when the house settles and the voice fades, and you hear something, knock. Just one. Ask yourself, is it the pipes? Or is something waiting for you to answer?